We are live on Twitter. We are live on Facebook. We're probably not going to go live on Instagram, and we are live on YouTube. Take it away.
Oh. What up, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube? I am your boy Prophet, and this right here is the Berkeley Poetry Slam. I almost said the wrong name of the show, but what's up, folks? If we can mute that one person with the TV real quick. Basically, we have a very packed and amazing show for y'all tonight. It is going to be outstanding, just like it is every week. But before we get started, I just want to give y'all a heads up about how we get down. So, today's show is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Over the last year, these monthly donors have been holding it down, ensuring that we are able to artistically and financially support the poets, the artists, the educators, and everybody that we bring on our virtual stages. None of this would be possible or sustainable without your continued support. So thank you to our patrons, in particular, Alice Nami, Melody Montgomery, Stephanie Yaboa, Renee Edmonds, Emily Chow, and Kayla Lilly for risking it for the biscuit with us. Thank you to Jessica Kozachick for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops. And we want to give a special thanks to Alice Grimm and Rebecca Abram for pledging $100 a month in support of our venue, the Allen Bluford Center for Justice. Our average donation is about $11 a month, which is basically like less than the price of a Netflix subscription. Like for just $11 a month, you can support a global literary and performing arts movement. If you enjoy what you are seeing, or just love the arts in general, or believe in reparations and liberation for the third world people, head over to patreon.com/RichOakEvents or donate to us via Cash App, Rich Oak Events, or Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. Thank you for your support. And now on with the show. So, poets, I know I say this every time I host that like this whole following rules thing was never really one of my strengths, but I'm starting to understand it a little bit now that I'm old. But you know, the game of life has rules, so why can't a slam? Basically, you got 3 minutes to share whatever you want with a 10-second grace period. Points will be deducted after that grace period. So at 3 minutes and 11 seconds, you on you on the hook for a deduction, unfortunately. At 4 minutes, you are going to be muted. And that is extremely awkward. And I can handle awkward, but I'm not the best. It's awkward like seeing somebody you know walking across the street and you be like, hey, Tina. And it's not Tina. It's just somebody that don't even look like Tina, but you thought they did. So like, yeah, not a fun awkward. There are no props, no musical accompaniment, and also no costumes. That was in October. The top 5 poets will move on to round 2. And we have this tradition or ancestral gaslighting or gimmick, whatever you want to call it. But here at Berkeley Slam, we have this like cool little mechanism where poets can get an extra point. It is called the word of the day, the whizzle of the dizzle. And what that is today is our nerdy friend Merriam-Webster cooked up a nice one. It is milk toast. Uh, it is an adjective. The dictionary didn't say, but I just threw that in there just in case. That means a timid, meek, or unassertive person, or lacking in character or vigor, wishy-washy. So, for example, Barack Obama's healthcare plan was milk toast because it was essentially Mitt Romney's plan for Massachusetts with like a paint job on it. So instead of giving us a public option or like Medicare for all, we got Romney Care with a paint job. Now that is milk toast healthcare. Um, Use the word successfully, you gain an extra point. And audience, I know. Only a light skinned nigga will tell the audience what to do in their own self house. But I promise, I ain't gonna go too hard on you tonight. So our rules for the audience are to like, share, and subscribe to our IG and Twitter at Berkeley Slam and Facebook at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Comment on the feed. Let the poets know how much you love these poems. Be more enthusiastic than you would be at a slam in person because it is not easy to host an online slam. Um, Not host. It's not easy to perform in an online slam. That's what I meant to say. Because, yeah, it's kind of awkward. Usually, when you slam in person, you can kind of feel the energy from the crowd. You're speaking into a can now. So, like, please, show love to the poets in every medium that you can. Um, Freedom of speech is not the same as freedom from accountability. And what that means is if you say something that is like misogynistic or trans or homophobic or racist or something wild and crazy, that does not, just because it happens online don't mean that like there won't be consequences for that, meaning that some people might just randomly flood your timeline. Don't let your mouth write a check that your bet can't cash, just like my OG sister, Alexandra, aka Alex the Great, just said in the chat. So yeah, do show love to the poets, but if you have something problematic to say, somebody's going to probably address that. Um, in the first round, um, we have a pretty lit list for tonight's slam. I'm gonna tell you what the list is once I get a second to go over it one more again. Okay, I believe this is everybody. Cool. So tonight we have, if I can get everybody in the Zoom to like cheer every poet, Chev.
Woo!
Okay, I guess not.
Woo! Yeah! Oh!
This was so this was so painfully awkward that I think I am going to officially just ask y'all to just cheer at the end so I can read the names off quick. Because oh man, that was so strange. It was awesome. So our list for tonight is Shaq, Miles, Esperanza, Alex the Great, Dog Days Are Over, Lyrically Gifted Brother, and Sawyer Benjamin. Can I give it up? Can we give it up for all the poets? Yeah, yeah. Woo!
Oh! Oh!
All right. So, if this is the randomized list, I uh, I believe it is. So we are good to go. Um, but oh wait, it is not. It is not the right list because we have a poet that was not included, and we are all about inclusion. So I'm going to add Jackson to the list as our 10th poet, not 10th poet, but as our last poet. Um, or should we randomize again? What say you, fellow organizers?
Let's re-randomize it to make
Let's
it fair.
re-randomize it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Jackson forgot to sign up, and I forgot to tell Colin that Jackson had signed up. So that's on me. I'm sorry.
Oh, for sure.
I have it randomized.
Oh no, it's my bad. I'm the light skinned person in the group. I take the blame for everything. It's cool. I like it that way. It was my fault. Totally my bad. I have access to all the the same discourse that the fellow organizers have, and I dropped the ball on keeping tabs on everything. So blame me. Always blame the light skin me. All right. So the list that was just posted into the chat also has Jackson last. Are we sure? Oh yeah, it is freshly randomized. Cool. Let me add this to the thingamajig. So it looks like tonight's slam we have Miles, Sawyer Benjamin, Alex the Great, Dog Days Are Over, Esperanza Cabrales, Lyrically Gifted Brother, Chev, and then Jackson. Colin just said, I'll be mad when they blame the light skinned nigga. I'll only be mad when it's actually my fault. When it's not my fault, I feel better, you know. But yeah, I just named the list. I'm gonna put it in the host checklist. Before we get the first round started, though, we have a way to calibrate the judges and get everybody ready for the show to start, and that is going to be the sacrificial poet. Tonight's sacrificial poet is a very nice one. So can I get everybody to show their love for the sacrificial poet tonight? Tina!
Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice.
1 second. Oh, that's weird. 1 second. Oh, interesting. We can add 2 people at the same time to Spotlight now. Thank you, Zoom, for making that infinitely harder. How's it going, everybody?
Woo. Good.
Going okay.
We learn to move in the wind with the most intimate of discretions. Migrate to the rhythm of old cumbia steps of early October. Feed our bellies with flower pollen and wait for the right seasons for us to repopulate one. Of the first words that I ever learned in Spanish is mariposa. I remember falling in love with the way freedom flew with every pronounced syllable and wanting to surrender to desire, becoming one with the air too. I've seen my parents transform their limbs into wings and transcend the US-Mexican border more times than I can count with my hands. Seen them struggle to keep afloat. Even when we're threatened out of the sky, they said they did all this for love. They bared for their children 3. Amount of butterflies migrate north in February and then back down south in October to continue their existence. It's not once they ever concerned themselves with fences for my family. There's a tragic love story between an American dream and La Migra. Seen this film unfold like a broken record as they migrate and then deported and migrate again just to be deported once more. And I wonder if anybody else memorizes the changes to the seasons like I have 5. After 2015, the monarch is a risk of becoming an endangered species. 6 of my parents would tell the stories of them crossing La Frontera. I imagine them as butterflies and not the traumas they had endured. It's easier for me to dream of them in perfect symmetry. Their fragile wings being picked up by the air, seem to cross dry deserts for days, dying of dehydration and dangers that come with being undocumented. 70, you touch a butterfly's wings, it will lose its ability to fly. It will die attempting to reach its destination. So why my parents always taught me to move with my feet 8 no matter where I go. My mom will always be present in my cooking. She will be the one stirring the pot and flipping the tortillas when my belly is seeking familiarity. This is how I know I will keep her legacy alive. 9, Abba. These hands that have the capacity to write you the finest of poetry, but they always have the capacity to cook and nourish your belly to remind you if you are dining with me. This will be our home tenor definition. A home has never been the most stable. No white picket fence or nuclear family dynamic has ever existed itself in our family albums. There is nothing symmetrical about these images. No household in the backdrop or welcome mat to step on. Monarchs are not known for having homes. Instead, constantly migrating so the next generation could survive. 11. Love has always been a struggle between connecting calls, knowing that they are leagues away from you just to hear them say mijo. To hear lullaby's voice from the sky above you is falling. 12. We are monarchs, soaring with holes in our wings and times consuming the deadliest of pollens because we're trying so hard to survive. This is why we are going extinct. 13. One day, I'll break my limbs, grow wings in their place, and fly south. Fly home.
Give it up for Tino. Woo!
Woo!
Whew. Damn. That is a great way to start a slam. Thank you for ripping the stage. Judges, please send your scores to the scorekeeper, Becky. And I'm just going to let you know that when I say you are in the hole, that means you are third to the stage. If I say you are on deck, that means you're not coming up right now, but you're going to be after the next person that touches the stage. If I say being born, that means you are essentially coming up right now, right now. So in the hole, we have Alex the Great. On deck is Sawyer Benjamin. And coming up to the stage to start Berkeley Poetry Slam is going to be Miles. Give it up, give it up, give it up.
Woo! Thank y'all, thank y'all. Can I get a mic check before I start? Can y'all hear me?
Hear you.
Good.
Okay. And then I want to just give a brief content warning at the beginning. There are some themes of violence, and then also specifically like dying in childbirth, themes of maternal mortality. So I want to give a content warning before that. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but so does not having any health insurance. But so does being afraid of the doctor on the other end of just okay health insurance. But so does being afraid of the doctor on either end of this sentence. But so does being fearful, not of the bearer of bad news, but of the bearer of its brunt. An apple a day, huh? Yeah, old lying ass niggas. Eve had one taste, one time, and they leave our mothers anyway to die on tables as they attempt to bring more apples of niggas' eyes to fruition, often to be left then strewn on the garden floor where its flower either emerges a miracle or is left within the lazy reach of prolonged salivators. If Eve had one taste of 1/3 apple and Adam had one whole apple plus one serpentine cornucopia of ungarnered plausible deniability, who drank Eve's apple juice? Who, with impunity, guzzled all that ever belonged to Eve? Boy, I said if Eve had 1/3 of some shit to do with it and Adam had one plus all the rest of what was going on, who the fuck drank Eve's motherfucking apple juice? Okay, you know what? Fine, then. We're going to have to move on, come back to that one. How many dead pigs does it take to nourish people with greasy, skillet curling fatback? How many miles of street could we lotion if we'd abandon the embarrassment and save the grease in cloudy ball and mason jars like grandma told us? How many times will we slip and fall in the process, blood and grit caked to our never again ashy angles? Little girl, are you listening? If you have 4.18 million miles of gravel and tarmac and chip seal, and there are, roughly 697,000 sloppily uniformed reasons for those 6.73 million kilometers to hold anything but rubberized potential energy, how much grease do you add to the equation before the skillet begins to broil? How much combustion would it really take to make the black pop until it had no choice but to glimmer? Child, don't let me find out you set these milquetoast white folks out to make me a lie now. I wave and proclaim your talent before God and anyone else bold enough to judge a fellow rock thrower. Don't make me to be something I can't claim for my own through another life. An apple a day keeps the doctor away is the byproduct of revision. The original adage, erupted in hushes from the cavernous throats of 19th century Wales, allegedly, is eat an apple on going to bed and you'll keep the doctor from earning his bread, which then over generations bled wet coral pink sand until it was an apple a day, no doctor to pay. And do you remember what we discovered about who bears the bad news's burden? If an apple a day keeps the doctor away, no one let Eve know she still endures invasion, sometimes by white men in snow-driven lab coats, sometimes by off-white men in off-white trench coats, sometimes in her own bed, while she, I pray, was dreaming something really beautiful, something just for her. And sometimes, while all this is going on, nobody even bothers caring for the trees left in the garden, so everything wilted. So there are no more apples. So now What do we have that we can pluck and swallow to keep all the capitalists away?
Woo!
We can give it up better than that. Give it up. Woo!
Woo!
All right, that was a great way to start the slam. Thank you. How can I get my phone to look like yours one day? Like, damn, you brought it back to the 70s. Thank you for that, Celine. So our sacrificial poet got a 26.5. Let the judges know how you feel about the score. Do we not have feelings about the score?
Ooh.
Boo! Where are the 10?
Okay. All right. Somebody said bullshit. All right. Because I'm about to say, I ain't never heard of poets this damn quiet. So, please give it up for Tino. Starting off the
Go
slam by
Tino.
sacrificing. I'm glad the blood wasn't spilled for nothing. All right. So in the hole is Dog Days Are Over. On deck is Alex the Great. And coming up to the stage right now is this person has to be a lawyer and a poet because their name is Sawyer Benjamin.
Woo!
Woo!
I get a mic check.
You're good.
Content warning for infertility. This is just a poem about eggs and nothing else. 1, if there are only 12 eggs in the carton when you were born, how many do you think survive after the first incision is made? 2, there are at least this many ways to complete an egg: scrambled, poached, fried, hard-boiled, in a basket down the hall, and the door is kept ajar, soft-boiled skin learning to open up their fingers, sunny side up, and they are reaching out for you, 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 and they are devil over damn 2, easy 3. Those damn eggs, they always make you sick. The doctors have named your sickness for you, but you will still only call them vomit and tummy aches and Sydney Taylor and pissing every time you laugh and Aiden Riley and painful orgasms and swollen legs and Declan Jude and cracking ribs, fetal position, Laughlin Stone and skipping plans and blood everywhere for. To acquire a taste for eggs, the doctors say you must learn to love all your other animal products, but you cannot love your milkmaid chest, bare, tender loins. You cannot shave your woolen coat. You cannot stay a yearling face, cannot deepen piercing bleat. You cannot even reach the honeycomb on your tippy toes, but still, you cannot let go of the egg carton. 5. There is no anticipation for Halloween this year, for you do not want the children to egg your home, for those eggs are precious and those children are precious, and lately being in your body feels like an ironic costume or a trick question. 6. I said, doctor, please do not make me throw my eggs away. I promise perhaps they have not expired just yet. And those poor children, they must be starving.
Woo! Woo!
Perfect.
Folks, we can do better than that. I was quiet because I was waiting for folks to like make some noise for the poet, because it is not easy to touch this stage or any stage and share your art. So can we please cheer a little bit more for the poet?
Woo!
Okay. That was a little bit better. I am still waiting for the score for the last poet, Miles. So I will give that as soon as I receive it. And as far as what or who we have coming up to the stage, I have that right here. I had it, but I smoked before the show, and then my memory went the way of the blunt. So I apologize to everyone. I am old and slow, so my memory is kind of hazy, like purple hazy. So in the hole is Esperanza Cabrales. On deck is Dog Days Are Over, and coming up to the stage right now, not right now, but right now, it's Alex the Great.
On childhood fears that may never go away. When I was younger, my sisters and I would often play this game where they would gag me with a scarf, bag me up in sheets, and lock me in a closet until my mother got home from work, except they were only ones playing. It wasn't much of a game to me that all of our childhood memories are now filled with me being terrified and them being thoroughly entertained. Isn't it some of the sickest shit how people can be so overcome with joy over your pain? And now the craziest thing is that I don't know if I'm more embarrassed to say I've seen a therapist or to admit just how fucked up I am to even need one. Can't stand to be in dark places. Don't like feeling like I'm not in control when I don't know what could be lurking out from the shadows. I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what can happen in the dark, afraid of the secrets that linger there, of the skeletons that will try to bury you with them. They say that misery loves company. Maybe that's why I don't like to be alone. I sleep with the light on in every room of my house, but I can't stand mirrors. Who wants to magnify their own flaws? I got this fear of talking to strangers. Don't get too close to anyone too soon, and I'll never say Candyman in the bathroom again. In the back of my mind, I know he's got this hidden vendetta against me from 20 years ago, and I know this shit got to sound crazy, but I'm not crazy. Just the paranoia got a way of creeping up on you. I don't like when people stand behind me. Hands in your pockets for too long can mean you nothing but harm, and I don't know why. Sometimes I just shake tremendously. I can't sit still. I get nervous jitters. I'm always crying. I think I'm happy. It's more of a condemnation than a declaration to me, but I'm tired. Tired of playing the part of the broken girl, of the shattered woman. This movie has already been cast too many times. The bitter, battered, angry black is a stereotype I am now willing to unmask. I'm asking questions I already know the answers to. I'm screaming in quiet places. I'm banging on every locked door I see. I just want to be validated. Yesterday, I cut up myself in the darkest corner of the room, singing sweet spirituals and crying shamelessly through the night. Sometimes I just need to get out of my own head, not realizing the door is already open. In the end, maybe a small part of me is still just a little girl trapped in a closet, waiting for the day that my mother finally gets home.
That was awesome.
This is a signal to make noise.
That was awesome.
Woo!
Okay, that was a good start. Woo! All right, thank you for showing love to the poet. Because, like I said, it's not easy to perform, in front of a bunch of strangers and in front of a bunch of strangers on the internet. Miles received a 25.8. Tell the judges how you feel about the scores. It's okay.
Boo.
Are we? Did we take some Ambien before the show? Like, I'm not used to this level of quietness. Sawyer Benjamin received a 26.7. How do we feel about that score?
Boo.
Boo.
Okay, I guess we don't.
Higher.
I guess we don't feel. Damn, y'all higher than I am, and I didn't know that was possible because I can't even see my pupils right now.
Bro, I can't
All
even
right.
walk right now.
Oh shit, I love your sense of humor so much. All right. So In the hole, we have lyrically gifted brother. On deck, we have Esperanza Cabrales. And coming up to the stage right now is Dog Days Are Over!
Woo! Yeah.
Woo!
Yo, are they here?
Dog-
I can't see them.
Okay, it might be me being lit, but I swore I saw them earlier. But I guess they might be reconnecting, or I might have just been seeing
I don't
things.
think they're here.
Do not smoke weed before hosting a show. Okay, so scratch that. In the hole is Chev. On deck is lyrically gifted brother, and coming up to the stage right now is Esperanza Cabrales. Esperanza.
There you go.
I wasn't sure if I was highlighted yet. Also, mic check.
You're good.
I did not
We can hear you.
realize how small my world felt before until the day I realized it could be big again. There was a part of me that could tell. The way I couldn't breathe comfortably, the set of my shoulders weighing heavily, always tired, always worried, mind wandering, as though my thoughts would be better off on a journey somewhere else, somewhere far enough away that my reality would seem okay. Maybe not good, maybe not great, but bearable enough to be called okay. When I spend enough time dreaming up crazy, impossible dreams until one day they suddenly seem within reach, I've discovered I'm not the milquetoast I previously thought myself to be. Well, I've begun to realize the impossible, far-fetched daydreams may have been a little closer to Earth than previously thought. Whether it's having 2 people parties on the beach, my first time performing slam poetry, having time and ability to travel as a tourist in my own state. Today, it is the victory of each small but mighty win. Tomorrow brings with it the hope for joys, large and small, greater than okay, with a world and sky whose limits are defined by me. And I say, there are none.
Woo! Give it up, give it up. Okay, we must have a lot of East Coast and Midwestern poets tonight. But thank you for showing love to the poet. We are mowing through tonight's slam with okay timing tonight. With okay timing. So in the hole is the last poet of the first round. On deck is Chev, the penultimate poet. And coming up to the stage right now is the lyrically gifted brother.
When my name is called on slam night, I wonder if the same thoughts that are going through my head is going through the minds of other poets as they approach the mic. Like, don't go over time. Whatever you do, don't forget your line. But there's one that crosses the rivers of my thoughts more than others. Besides, for take your time, articulate your words. The most important one for me is, Lord, don't let me stutter. A stuttering disorder. disrupts your flow of speech with silent pauses or blocks, which means when I'm slamming, I'm not just battling poets for scores, I'm battling this body, hoping that when my words attempt to exit, it doesn't close the front doors. When I hear the phrase, say it with your chest, I wish I could do just that, so my words wouldn't trip over the hurdles placed on my tongue right before the finish line of my lips. Do you know how it feels to have your body press pause and play at the same time? It's like a DJ turning your tongue into a turntable, remixing and scratching every line. I think I'm the only poet that shakes in fear when the crowd screams rewind, because if I do, the poem that's on play and the tape deck of my throat might just pop. I once stuttered so bad in a job interview, I just stopped. After laughing, the interviewer said, "Don't worry, it's okay, but wait 90 days to submit another resume." Do you know how it feels to have the truth play dress up as lies, to hold a conversation with a person with the look of "I don't believe you" in their eyes? Do you know how it feels to have people mock the way you talk? A disorder hit your words in the legs with a sledgehammer, crippling the way they walk down the runway of your mouth. My words sometimes hide in a shadow of my jaws because they are too afraid to come out and be seen by the ears of other people. I've wondered, how can humans be so evil and add laughter to a problem all my life I've been trying to subtract? I once prayed to God and asked him, can I give this life back or exchange it for another? Because this stutter is milquetoast, a suicide bomber blowing up every conversation I attempt to tell, as if these words are non-religious infidels. But this disorder will not depress and define me in the slums of shame. You will not find me, because someone out there needs these words, these poems that give life to the people that done heard these poems that give strength to the tired and weak. And there are people who turn to poets for inspiration, who get inspired when we speaking. So this poetic gift I would cherish like any other. As for the people that laugh at the way we talk, just have compassion and show love for people and poets that stutter.
Let's go.
Wow.
Hey.
Show love, please. Show
Wow.
love.
Wow.
Thank you so much for sharing that poem. Fun fact about me, I had a really bad stutter, like first, second grade. My teacher tried to force me to write right-handed. I'm naturally left-handed. So, the first couple months that I tried to listen to her to stop getting in trouble, it didn't work out for me. My mind and mouth couldn't move together. But then when I was like, you know what? Forget you, old lady. That's when the stutter started to stop a little bit. So, shout out to everyone who stutters or stammers. It's a real struggle out there, It's a real struggle. And oh my goodness! Somebody just made a very good point in the chat. I am about to repeat it. Why does society keep trying to fix parts of us that aren't broken until we get traumatized by it? And I respect that, because every poem that has been shared tonight has been talking about some kind of trauma that has been inflicted on the poet or on someone known to or observed by the poet. So every story that has been told tonight has been transformative, and I'm really thankful to everybody that has shared their truth, even though it's been difficult. So on deck is the last poet of the first round, Jackson. But coming up to the stage, oh, I'm sorry, I think I forgot to give a couple of scores. Alex received a 28.1. Show how you feel about the scores. Esperanza Cabrales received a 27.1. How do we feel about that? All right, all right. See, I like slimes when they're a little bit more local. I want to shout out to everybody that's like on the East Coast and the Midwest, on Mountain Time. You know, I want to shout out everybody who might be watching us from other parts of the world in different time zones. So, like, thank you for rocking with us. To all the poets in the Zoom, I'll be quiet about y'all not making a whole lot of noise. It's okay. So last poet of the first round is Jackson, but coming up to the stage right now, the penultimate poet is Chef.
Yeah. Let's go, Chev.
Mic check.
You're good.
If you are ever fortunate enough to fall in love with a Black woman, never let her forget that she's music. Teach the birds to harmonize just to sing her favorite song in the morning. Never forget that she's muse. That she's both art and artifact, both beauty and history, that she be your rib bone. Not just a rib bone, but backbone. Not just backbone, but wishbone, too often broken to make everyone else's magic. Never let her forget that she's magic. Never let her fall asleep. I'm like upset. Never let her wake up alone. Do everything possible to uplift whatever muscles her face uses to smile until it starts to look like a hammock, and ask for nothing but that she lets you rest in it. And if your lady is anything like mine, bro, she still won't trust you. So do this right here. It's a 5-point dissertation on the greatest phrase ever uttered. And it goes, Black men don't cheat! Exclamation point. 1, a stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image of a person. And I'm tired of being told I need fixing. I'm over being simplified into only what can be held against me. Sick of this body being held against me every time I refuse to be someone's martyr or milquetoast. So this year, I've chosen to define myself. To define myself, to create the first Black boy stereotype or the first Black boy's outline that is not made of Jordan or chalk too. A 2013 report by the CDC which states that Black men are actually more active fathers than their counterparts. But we deadbeats. 86% of Black men who are married have Black wives, but you still think I'm trying to talk to Becky that smell like dog hair. 88% of Black marriages find no reports of infidelity at all. I say this to say that sometimes truth is stranger than convictions. And how many people would we have saved if every stereotype got a background check like the people we push them on? 3, my parents' wedding vows are 3 years older than me. I got a brother almost 3 years younger, and on Mother's Day, we can't call the same phone. 3. One year, my mother actually got a phone call from a woman claiming that she was my dad's mistress, upset that he was cheating on the both of them with a third woman. 3, my 3rd year of college, he visited me with someone pretending to be an Uber driver. She wasn't. I never asked. He gave me 3 pairs of jeans that she bought him so that he wouldn't have to explain them at home. I didn't realize until none of them fit. 3, I thank God that none of them fit. 4, I'm scared they will someday. The family of every woman I've ever dated has looked at me like an apocalypse, an ending as inevitable as it is devastating, and I've held my crying mother too many times to blame them. Seen too many women shattered by the very men they wait behind or under glass ceilings for. They say that Black fathers be so protective of their daughters because even Black men have learned better than to believe in Black men. So I say Black men don't cheat, like affirmation, like call to action, like assurance that even if I have to scrub the patriarchy from these genes till my knuckles worn down as my mother's belief in love, they will never fit onto my children. 5, I'd like to have children. I'd like to say Black men don't cheat to my son and have him believe me. Say it again to my daughter and be able to believe myself like my mother used to say. She only stayed married for my sake. Like somehow my smile was more important than hers. I just want to live in a world where she don't got to make that choice.
Woo!
Hey.
Yeah, as soon as I heard somebody say Black men don't cheat, I tried to very much so not make my face show my thoughts. but thank you so much for sharing your poem. Lyrically gifted brother received a 29.6. And now we are getting to the last poet of the first round. And I kind of failed as a host because I didn't even mention one of the biggest reasons we are here tonight. The money, which is the $100 cash prizes that we are giving out. And one of the biggest reasons is that we have a lit, dope ass feature by the name of Lene Reed. Can we show love? Give it up for the feature, Lene Reed.
Hey.
All right. My bad. I can't believe I didn't even mention them until just now. Like, I buried the lead, essentially. So, before we get into the feature, please give it up for the last poet of the first round, Jackson.
Woo!
Hey, mic check, sound check, all the things. Also, can you see me? Am I lit well enough?
Yes, you're lit. Sorry.
We hear you just fine.
Looking sound great.
Awesome. New shit, by the way.
New shit.
It's speculated. It's speculating that sending messages back in time would eventually be possible. So fuck it. What if this poem is the one piece of me that I can send back to my old self? It's funny when friends get hurt. I laugh at my own pain all the time. Start treating yourself like your own fucking friend. You're dope as shit. I wish you could fucking remember that. Depression is like the electoral college. The popular vote is that you're dope as fuck. Look around. Look at how many dope ass amazing friends you have. Why the fuck can't you love yourself better? My friend said, Jackson, what's harder, being in a wheelchair or having depression? And I was like, have you ever met someone who was in a wheelchair who didn't have depression? And they said, yeah, you. And I said, yeah, bitch, it's called acting. Like, that's what it is, because no one likes the sad, crippled kid. So I learned to be funny. I learned to turn my pain into funny so that people would like me. Because it's hard when you drag your own wheelchair up the stairs so you get invited to the fucking party. And it's hard that I have to be better than everybody else to be treated the same as everybody else. And it's hard that my life gets harder than yours. And it's hard that sometimes you look up to me because I am not impressive. I'm barely holding on and I am not okay. And that's perfectly fine. See, you don't have to be impressive all the time. Sometimes you are going to fail. You're going to fuck up. You are going to be the person you hate most in the world, but you are going to keep surviving because your friends would miss you too much. I am alive for the people who love me because I want to remember how to love me, and that's exactly how we do it. See, the average age of a person in foster care is 8 years old, and I was 5 years old when I was adopted. My life got saved because I was lovable, and I remember foster care. Out of the plethora of amazing humans I know, I am the only person I know who survived foster care by being adopted. You either got adopted before you can remember, or you aged out of foster care, or you're me. I feel fucking alone in this moment. My family just left the Bay Area, and I feel alone in this moment. I am alone in this moment, and it hurts. My girlfriend broke up with me the day before Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is the first holiday I spent with my extended family before I was even adopted. I got to spend time with my extended family. When I invite you to Thanksgiving, that means I love you. Be a part of my family. It sucks that I'm gonna die of old age, because fighting my depression for that long seems really fucking hard.
Make some noise.
Woo!
Right. Thank you so much, Jackson. Thank you to everybody that performed in the first round tonight. Miles, Sawyer, Alex, Esperanza, Lyrically Gifted Brother, Chev, and Jackson. Please give it up for everybody that touched the stage in the first round. There was no weak leak. There was nothing but fire upon fire upon fire. So please show your love to everybody that was in the first round tonight. All right. That was sufficient. Some of y'all are like, into tomorrow already, so I will excuse the noise levels. So Chev received a 27.7. Let the judges know how you feel about the score.
Ooh, it's not a 30.
And Jackson received a 26.9. Please let the judges know how you feel about the score.
Oh.
All right. So now that has officially completed the first round, I have the luxury of being able to introduce to you our feature. One of the judges said, I love booing myself. I do too. So our feature, Lene Reed, is trying to make sense of it all and find peace. They facilitate meditation and speak about all kinds of social justice issues, including race, feminism, poverty, being a survivor, and the environment. Lene has featured and slammed across the US and is published in Farm to Table, the UPS Dirt Project, Creative Colloquy, Creative Colloquy, the Bus Stop Project, Tattoos Day, Lost Tower, Panegyria, Works in Progress, Spectrum Women, Strange Foot, and her chapbooks, Universal State of Mind, and Q Woo Mojo Juju. Key Woo Mojo Juju. That just like the name of that sounds like the best song that you will ever hear in the world. I bet it comes from I bet it comes from a very dope place. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. But
I'll make sure to
that
tell you.
chapbook was published for sure. That chapbook was published by the Girl God. She also contributed to Single Mothers Speak on Patriarchy and Inanna's Ascent. You had me at Speaking on Patriarchy. Thank you. As a cishet man, I am still ignorant, and I learn every day to be less of a piece of shit. And it's thanks to people like Lene Reed. So I am so thankful for the work you do. She was the Olympia People's Mic First WOPS Women of the World Poetry Slam representative. Opened for Pussy Riot, I love that name and band, was heard on Paradigms, Tell It Slant, and Will of Wonder. Her spoken word poetry album, The Second Coming of Matriarchy, is available at leneereed.bandcamp.com. LENNEEREID.bandcamp.com. Follow her at Lene Reed and her blog, A Slice of Mystic Pie, at mamamystic.wordpress.com. And now that I've got the spiel out the way, please show your love for this amazing being who is about to bless our mic, Lene Reed.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Yeah, I have some wonderful poems for you tonight. We're just going to jump right into it. This piece is called Black Widow, and I think you can see the hand movements. They are taken from different mudras, and they mean things like from different goddesses. Revolution of consciousness, circle of life, wheel of dharma, karma, center of the universe. We, threads of web intertwined. I, Black Widow, My thoughts, energy, express sound wrapped around your ears. Here now, we share one memory. See, I find my mind wanders. I lose my ego. Bye-bye, soul, go fly down low. Peace of mind, manifest this. Inside, outside, up, down, revolution. Round and round confusion, state of shock. Genocide, murder. Stop the flood of blood in the streets flow of traffic. Stop the madness, shut down. The racist, classist, prison industry. No more drug war. Stop, break it down. Build new. Revolution around town, small business down, hit by outsourced, offshore, downfall. Resolution, go green team, buy organic, local, weed, legalize cures we need, sacred pieces of Mother Earth gives birth to spirit I heed, air I breathe, earth I be, water my blood pumps, goddess I'm on fire. Resolution, spirit, freedom, rider, awareness, Heiser, ire, I'm up in the sky on cloud 9 where poetry bombs ignite, blow minds. And point expands, circumpunk Gaia cup. Filled with the sun, I stare at light and see the truth. This fights blindness, so when mindless guidance leads through the night. Rise in this darkness, see brightly, reflect like the moon. Nightly, ponder. Revolution, dominance, submission, patent masters, profit off your asses, taxes on war machines, fuck politicians and trickle down, poverty goes around. Revolution, idle no more, get moving, rise up, lead yourself, past this, go forward to revolution. Baltimore, slavery, Standing Rock, Wounded Knee, justice and freedom need revolution, but I see bondage and chains wrapped around our brains. Resolution, be free. Show solidarity, Palestine, Kenya, Syria, Unistoten, the whole world is talking revolution. So refugees, follow me to the sea level, global warming, rise up. Fukushima melts down. California dry up, go flames down, fall ashes to ashes, dust to revolution serves carcasses. Children, porpoises, roller bears, nowhere, glacier splash, iceberg crash, Titanic, sinking, downfall. Revolution around pollution, repelling off bridges, kayaktivists, stop drilling. Oil rig explodes, coal train rolls, cargo, dark clouds go up, chemtrails spray, downfall. Pain and strife. Resolution, revolution, web of life. Holds everything in balance, just like karma. Wait and see. Watch now, fuck me, I am Black Widow. There we go. That piece I put together from activism and just all of the different issues that were bothering me. And yeah, so that one was called Black Widow. This piece is on my second album, Crazy Thunder Medicine. And it is about waking up at Standing Rock and a vision that I had. I awaken in a calm, foggy meadow at daybreak with a massive herd of white buffalo. Their faces shapeshift, but are wise and kind. A spirit woman stands up in and rides, one buffalo. They all have different vibrant blankets on their back. As others join, I see the ancestors are coming. Some buffalo become white deer, a giraffe, a camel, even an elephant. Ancestors, shamans, grandmothers, and chiefs from all time manifest into the herd to give them direction, make them stampede through a beautiful vision of smoke, fog, steam on a field of ethereal tan gray mist. Everything melts together as one. Then their eyes turn fierce, red, focused, and they run through the meadow, all with the same calm, red-eyed white buffalo face now. I turn around and somehow am floating on a stampede of ghost buffalo, angry at something for a very good reason. I wonder when by nature they are so gentle and kind. I am unafraid, yet my mind screams, why? All I notice are blankets of every design floating on the mist, like a quilt of hope ready to cover a great darkness on the horizon, and the distinct smell of fresh, clean spring water. The first spirit woman, she comes to me, and for a moment the whole world stops, and I hear the softest whispers answer. Life. Here we go. Yeah, it really affected me going to Standing Rock, seeing all the different people come together to help them. And there's still many battles and front lines to go and help with now. And I mentioned Una Stoughton Camp 2 in the Black Widow poem. There's just so many places that we're just trying to fight for clean water. So let's do a feminist piece. This piece I have done closing and opening women's marches out here. It's called Call Me Queen. Yeah. I hear people talking about their pronouns. She, he, they, them, z's, them, and I'm like, this is cool. I wish people knew how to talk to me right too. So let's get a few things clear. I'm not your baby girl. Sweetie, honey, bae, boo, no. I like the sound of your majesty and nothing less will do. So don't you call me ma'am, like what, some ordinary mother? Oh no, there is no other like me. A single rare individual completely in touch with my divinity. Call me queen. Regina, your royal highness, the shit I have risen above, overcome, reached heights higher, highest. Call me goddess. I shine light through the darkness like Luna. My womb rides the moon. I identify with diviner, seer, mystic, guru. So don't you come at me talking shit like chick, cunt, bitch. In fact, you think about grabbing my pussy, I could show you which. Conjurer of poems that cast spells, cauldrons of soup that heal wounds. Call me baby girl. One more time, I can stick you with voodoo. True. So excuse you, who thought you knew how to do what? Talk? To who? Me? No, too out of the box for common labels. Madam Griot, Mistress Wordsmith, I'm not your little mama. I don't even sit bitch. So remember this, before you come talk to me, these two little things. My name is Lene, and I will answer to my queen. Thank you. And I'd just like to mention, in case anybody didn't catch that, Your Highness and Your Majesty are gender neutral. If you don't know what gender somebody is, just call them Your Highness. Nobody will mind, okay? Anybody can be any type of divine being they want to be. All right, let's do one more queen poem. You know, sometimes activism and politics and all this stuff just stresses me out. So I wrote this poem to change the world. So let's do something on a lighter note. When I am queen, it will be my pleasure to free lots of people, starting with Leonard Peltier. Then the pot criminals who are not criminals, wage slaves too. Let loose all the animals caged in zoos, unleash rivers from dams, banish fear from night, quench all who thirst, for water is life. Honor the treaties, give away land, feed all who hunger. Oh, free women from man. Free to study and pray in every tongue, and then I'll break the shackles of student debt just for cotton. Defund the cops, overpay teachers, make hugging mandatory. Well, at least if you give consent first. Freedom to study and pray and freedom to travel, free of deportation, completely outlaw hate for Mother Earth, our nation. To rise as one, a people united, we must join hands, stand and triumph. So yes, when I am queen, it will be my pleasure to free lots of people, starting with Leonard Peltier. There we go. Sometimes it's better when you memorize it and don't check the words. I think I got like 2 left. Do we have time for that? How are we on time? How many you want me to do?
We're doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good. Okay, we'll do 2 more and see if that's good. This poem is for Pops and it's all true. And it was written as a Father's Day present. This poem is for Pops, who tells me stories, tales from the deep south, about how a raccoon could whip a dog in the water. I learned how to fell a tree so it lands just right. I listened to his mama cook 3 meals a day for 11 people. I think that's why he smiles so big when you fix him something made to order, like a sandwich. He leads me through a field of memories, plowing behind a mule at 8 years old. We go to cane mills, remove the slag off the top as millstone rolls with the clop of a workhorse, juice and sweetness. I hear how to keep my fingers. I listen to the weight of a 65-pound basket of cotton on the back of a child. I hear the clank of pennies counted for shot, to hunt rabbit for supper. Not a deer. He never could bring himself to kill one. I hear the sound of sitting on the porch with a rifle. I hear his heartbeat and a drop of sweat trickle off his brow. I hear a murder of Jim Crows pass over the family home. Sisters safe in the house. Threshold blessed with his own blood, toil, and prayers. Think this is why he got good as head of security with a strong black 6 foot, who knows what body that was too young for that draft, but fought many battles of his own. I've heard where his boys were raised, sent to college, seen on TV in various athletics. I have heard from whence they came. Great-grandchildren of 2 preachers' children who raised a family on 60 acres, mules, horses, and mostly the backs of their children, outside of my bayou, Mississippi. See, for a few, a little slice of that tale can be true. Walnut and peach trees, cornbread and collard greens, barbecues and fish fries, ham hocks and poke salad runs through their veins just like dominoes and spades. Here's the great migration from southern farm to northern factory. I have heard a person passes out when their arm is mangled in a meat grinder up to here. I've heard the pain of living a long life filled to the brim with loved ones. He knows more hurt and dead people than I can name. He speaks to me of them. His cousin at 80 stabbed 13 times by her grandson and how she's still living. Brother-in-law drowned in the Mississippi. Cousins killed in wars. Nephews in and out of prison for no good reason. People who died on his watch at work. Died in his home, in his care. 2 of his older brothers now. He's the baby. He says, I work every day for work, there was work, and after work, there was work. So, this poem is for Pops, who tells me stories, smoking weed on the porch at the house, with scenes of raccoons whipping dogs in the water, and trees felled just right. There we go. That's for Pops. And let's see, Call Me Queen is in my book, Kiwu Mojo Juju. I'm gonna do a poem out of this book called Soul Extension. And I think that's it for my set, unless y'all want more. I like this poem. Yeah, we'll do this one.
Yeah, you got time for one more.
I have more, okay. Oh, I closed my eyes in a flash of light, a flaming ring opened my second sight. The words, stay calm, wash over me. Then I saw that which can never be seen. How to paint a picture with words, to speak of lands unseen, unheard. 'Twas in a format I can only relate with 5 or 6 dimensions, the movement of dates, the fabric of time. I watched and I wondered, is this from whence cometh my thunder? Stay calm, I obeyed as I soaked it all in. My eyes stayed shut, tears could not begin. My ego, oh, it wanted to scream and cry, but my soul, it decided to jump in and fly. This matrix, a map of which I am a witness, starts at infinity, goes through all of existence. There were 2 curved horizons, both above and below. The beads and the strings of the fabric did glow, vortexes, galaxies, spinning the lines, wormholes and tori, funneling time. I am in, I'm around. We're all made of stars. All in one place, both near and far. Nothing is still, there is no rest. All flows like water and wind, lightly dressed. Dewdrops and silk strings decorate this world where not one line is straight. See what I'm still? Empty. Oh, and open my mind. The places I go, I dare you to find. See, I've conquered mountaintops, so I've crawled valley beds, but breathtaking for me is when black holes bend, whirlpools of time swing and snap like twigs. A hurricane raining light years might make me worship on, I don't know, one name. So as I lay there in bed in another dimension, my mind, oh, it's lost. I do come back to mention. No technology can match. There is no invention that could possibly outperform my soul. There it is. Extension. There we go.
Woo, 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 woo,
Woo.
Thank
Woo.
you. Thank you. How's everybody doing? Are we ready to get back to the slam? Woo.
We are doing
Amazing.
great. Thank you so much for sharing your poetry.
Thank
Good
you.
goddamn, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. If you're ready to go back to the slam, I know you guys are on a time
can
limit.
you shout out?
Can I shout out who?
Can you shout out your merch? And
yeah, so I did poems from all my stuff today. This is Kiwu Mojo Juju, and this is Universal State of Mind. They are both available at thegrowgod.com. They are a great publisher and do wonderful, well-received anthologies for women identified people. So they're great. My other two offerings, my spoken word albums, are available at lenereed.bandcamp.com. You can also find them by searching The Second Coming of Matriarchy or Crazy Thunder Medicine. Yeah, that's how you can find me. You can also just Google Lene Reed. I come up. There's all kinds of stuff out there that I've written, and memes and art and all kinds of things like that. So thank you for having me. And do I put my Venmo or something in the? I email you guys with that. But yeah, my album is in the links in the text. Yeah.
amazing. Please do check out her art. I'm telling y'all, yo, like my hair was halfway like
Amazing.
curly. Now it's all nappy and matted because like my wig was blown back. So thank you. Damn. I really loved your poetry.
Thank you.
And how much is your chapbook?
I believe online they're $10. You can
No,
also
thank you.
contact me and I can mail you a signed copy. And I have like printout art that I do of my poems.
Only $10.
Like 8x10. So if you're interested in my work, you can contact me and I can get you a gift pack or something.
Word. That's what's up.
Yes, for all our listeners, please listen and purchase that. It's only $10. You can't afford not to buy it.
Right? And the album
So thank
online,
you
you
again.
can listen for free. You can also purchase by track, anything like that. So I do appreciate that. Even just the traffic on my album, I appreciate.
For sure. Like everyone talks about the arts as if it's like an optional thing, but when the pandemic happened, that's what we all turned to. So please support your local artists, support the art that makes you feel good. And thank you again, Lene. My wig will probably never recover, but I couldn't be happy.
Thank you.
And moving on. Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. So moving on to round two, we have in round two, in this order, Jackson, woo, Chef, woo, lyrically gifted brother, woo, Esperanza Cabrales,
woo,
and Alex the Great.
Yeah.
All right, can we show love to all the poets in round two and also show love to all the poets that blazed the stage in round one?
Gang, 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 gang.
All right, sweet. All right. I appreciate that we showed our appreciation to all the people who blessed our stage today. All the poets that
Prophet,
didn't make it to the second round.
Did you say
Don't be
chef
disrespectful.
too?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear
Chef
that
is
part.
second.
Maybe I was just cheering too loud. My bad.
Okay. Oh no, it was probably because I was talking during people's cheering instead of like waiting until people were done cheering. That was my fault. I told you, always blame the light skinned nigga. Like you'll never go wrong without like if you just blame the light skinned person. Um, so before I really officially get the second round started, I want to make a couple of quick announcements. First of all, if you like the writing that you saw today, some of the poems you've heard and some of the poems you've heard by people who touched this stage previously have been written in our writing workshops. And they happen every Wednesday at 7 p.m. before Berkeley Slam on Zoom. You can always find the link on our IG, Twitter, and Facebook pages. We post that in the flyer every week. So, like, if you like the writing that you hear, please check out the writing workshop. Even if you don't feel like you're a writer, it can help you with any creative process just to get those creative juices flowing. They happen before every show that we have at 7 o'clock on Zoom. So like every first and third Saturday for Alchemy Slam, it's at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Every single Oakland Poetry Slam that we have in person, we have it in person and on Zoom. And every Berkeley Slam at 7 p.m. before the show, an hour before the show, we have a writing workshop on where? Zoom. So if you want to stay posted on what we have going on, please follow us on IG and Twitter at Berkeley Slam, at Oakland Slam, and at Rich Oak Alchemy. That's the whole Rich Oak family of shows that we organize. So remember, it's IG and Twitter at Berkeley Slam, at Oakland Slam, and at Rich Oak Alchemy. With that said, I think I've used enough saliva for the next 3 nights and talking this much. So, in the hole is going to be Lyrically Gifted Brother. On deck is Chef. And the first poet of the second round is Jackson.
Woo!
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. Woo! I am for real.
So you can hear me all right and volume, lighting, all that good.
You look good.
Yeah.
All right. I am so fucked up. I didn't even think I was going to make it to the second round. Hey, I went overtime. That might be the first time I ever went overtime. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm still fucked up and I still have some more advice for myself. So fuck it. I'm going to do more of that. Even if you're having milquetoast sex, have a safe word because it'll make your sex better. The best thing to do after sex is treat it like a really great movie you just saw with your best friend. Like talk about your favorite parts so you can do that shit again. Like I feel bad talking about my sex life on stage because I feel like I have better sex than most people I know. I mean, granted, I have a lot of really amazing friends who probably have as good of sex as I do, but like the amount of friends I have versus the amount of acquaintances I have, it's a skewed number. And it's weird when you're the cripple in the room bragging about your sex life because Hollywood has desexualized cripples. Like, unless you're Lieutenant Dan paying for hookers, like, fuck that stereotype, by the way. I've never paid for sex. Like, as a cripple, I have to represent my people well. And I feel like paying for sex is just living into a stereotype I'd never want to live into. Not that I have anything against sex work. Sex work is real work. God bless them. Like, I've thought about doing being a burlesque performer because I think getting undressed by beautiful women on stage would be fun. And I would make a lot of money because I'm pretty. The way I know that is that I'm a cripple who gets laid more than my other friends. And if I'm not attractive, that just doesn't happen. Like, the fact that my life is awesome is not because I'm in a wheelchair. It's in spite of the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. And the joke is that if I can tell stories that make you wish you were me for even a moment, that's funny to me because I hate my life. No, too dark. People aren't going to laugh. See, they don't want to. When you punch across at yourself, people still think you're punching down. It's fucked up. It shouldn't be that way. You should be able to laugh at me because I want you to. I consent, and consent is sexy. The next beautiful woman to sit in my lap and make out with me, as long as she asks first, I'm fine with it. Like, show me your COVID card. That's cool. I mean, that's normal to me. Like a beautiful woman sitting in your lap and making out with you is normal for me. It's not normal for normal people. It's normal for me. I can never be normal. I can be extraordinary though. I'll settle for that.
Woo! 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 Give it up, give it up. All right. That was the first poet of the second round, which means that we have 4 other people to bless the stage, which means that in the hole is going to be Esperanza. On deck is going to be Lyrically Gifted Brother. And, you know, before I bring up the next poet to the stage, I'm going to make one more announcement real quick. Some of y'all are watching this on Facebook Live. Some of y'all might be watching this on Twitch, aka Twitter. But one way that you can always be tapped into what we have going on is by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Bay Poets Unite. It is very, very recommended because we have a huge catalog of local Bay Area and West Coast poets who haven't been, well, some of them have, and some of them have not been spotlighted in a like in a national setting. So we want to be able to you know, spotlight all of the talent that comes through the Bay Area. And Bay Poets Unite, the YouTube channel, is the best way. We are live streaming this show right now on YouTube at Bay Poets Unite. And with that out the way, I guess I can bring up the very next poet to touch the stage, and that is Cher.
Mike,
We can hear you.
All right, let's get started. We only have 3 weeks to pull this off, so I need all hands on deck. Pay attention, people. We are gonna rob Santa Claus. Yeah, he's gonna pay what he owes. A bearded white man who's been watching everything and coming back to bless you just for being nice never made sense in my house, but we learned to say our prayers anyway. Write our lists anyway, because we wanted things. I wanted my mother off the naughty list. I want to know why she got to work every Eve, Xmas, and Boxing Day just fighting to feed this family. Want to know how much fruitcake she got to make for Jesus. Stop skipping his birthday party. Hell, I wanted a bike when mine was stolen. My boys found out who had it. Figured we ride on him and let Jingle Bell rock till we found out his mama smoked it. So his bike turning her body into the chimney they never had. Now he just praying to get her off the cycle. I started playing ball in high school. My parents bought me one for 4 straight years. I don't know if they worked too many hours to know anything else about me or just thought it'd be the only way I make it out of here for college. I moved out the South to a city where it always snows, hoping this would get me close to the privilege of a white Christmas. It's hard not to be the Grinch whenever you walk in your shoes feel like a green mile back at home. My father's chestnut skin was roasting like an open fire because 3 unwise men with stockings over their heads open fire trying to take our gifts and his presence. We found out from streets that always seem to hear everything but don't see nothing. I asked my mother why she didn't tell me, and she gonna tell me that it's more important that I focused in school. Like me training to be a good Christian capitalist still a bigger deal than our fucking lives, and I'm fucking tired of this bearded white man skipping over my house like we ain't paid up our fucking tithes. Xmas supposed to be a birthday party, but the Jesus I see get no candles, just crosses to bear and burn under, more likely to be in a box by the age of 25 than to receive one on December 25th. No carols, just Karen singing till sirens ringing. So fuck it. If we can't bring Santa to the hood, why not bring the hood to Santa? I run in the North Pole with a long nose till everybody freeze. Had them elves looking like lawn gnomes. Lord knows the pain of people who prayed for everything but gotten nothing. Now I'm not for bluffing. I'm stacking bodies from the North Pole down to Wall Street. It's a stocking stuffer. This Christmas, my wish list is a hit list of rich men who sleigh ride over the moon just to skip the apocalypse. And every politician who ever promised to pot the piss. And I ain't taking naughty list names. I'm taking hostages. Yo, blow the bag, get the sleigh. Jack Frost will be in the way. Miss Claus under the mistletoe. Hey, kiss begins with K. Tell Kringle the time for us to mingle was in the past tense. Give a fuck about your presence. And I got used to your absence. I can't imagine packages replacing all the shit that we lost. Look at my eyes, nigga. Do you know what innocence costs? See, if pressure make diamonds, My surroundings got the stress to make a chain here. Take the cold for every time you turn the deaf ear to the pain here. Give out shine instead of shackles like most of the chains that they wear. And if we don't get to see sunshine claws, I'm just gonna have to hold the reindeer. See, if you don't get to see sunshine, then we just gonna have to hold the reindeer. I mean, you come for everything. If you came from nothing,
All right. Thank you for sharing your piece. And before I give out the next people touching the stage, I'm gonna make one more announcement. So we do have workshops at 7 o'clock before all of our shows on Zoom. But for those of you in the Bay Area, for those of you that are women or femme identifying, we have reoccurring workshops that are led by our sister from another mister, the Bay Area, the Berkeley legend, Milani Pelly. She is hosting free healing writing workshops, aka sister circles, for women and femmes in Berkeley at Stacks. The next one is at Stacks Bar on Saturday afternoon. This Saturday afternoon. Someone came all the way from Mendocino or Modesto to come to this past Thursday's. I want to say this past Thursday's workshop, and they said that it was well worth the drive and it was very transformative for them. And to be honest, I have been in a couple of Milani workshops. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like some of the best stuff that I have written or started to write was in one of her workshops. So please check it out. You can sign up to register on our Linktree, linktree.com/richoak-events. You will see the link for the Milani Pelly workshops. You can still register. There are still spots available. And I promise you, you will be healed. You will be transformed and transposed like a song by these amazing workshops led by Milani Pelly. So check those out when you get a chance. And back to the show. In the Hole is the last poet of the slam. On deck is Esperanza Cabrales. And oh crap, I think I forgot to give out scores. So Jackson received a 25.9. ADHD, when it manifests in adulthood, this is what it looks like. Someone said that my audio is lagging. Is my audio still lagging?
Just a little bit, but I mean, it's now that I think about it, it's not that noticeable. Well, it is, but it isn't.
It's not noticeable now that you asked, but there was a point where you took a pause and started talking, and like 5 seconds later, we heard the audio. It was getting bad at a certain point, but it seems good now. Nope.
All right, thank you so much for letting me know. All right, so you said it's not good anymore?
No, it's back to a big ass delay. We can see your mouth moving way before you start talking. It's like an old like kung fu movie or some shit, man.
Damn, all right. I'm gonna switch to my data instead of the freaking Wi-Fi. I'm not on the ghetto phone. This is a Verizon in the hood of Oakland. Yeah, I'm in the ghetto, which is why this phone isn't working like it usually should. But yeah, so Jackson received a 25.9. Chev received a 28.5. Can you let the judges know how they feel about the scores? How you feel about the scores?
Boo.
All right, all right. Can we cheer for the poets?
Yay!
All right, sweet. So, last poet of the slam is Alex the Great in the Hole. On deck is Esperanza Cabrales, and coming up to the stage right now is Lyrically Gifted Brother.
We met on a day of love. Valentine. You hugged me as if I was your destiny and you would be mine. Looking through my amber eyes of glass, you were perfect, so perfect, that if I had to wait a lifetime to lay next to you, it would be worth it. But I was lottery lucky blessed. After a day of meeting, I laid next to you as your head made pillow out of my chest. You talked, I listened about past relationships and your ex. Thoughts of newfound friendships and hope that love would come next. And honestly, I wanted the same. You made me feel plush and cuddly when you gave me a pet name. Then one night, after a year of dating, the man who introduced us got into a fight with you. As tears skydive from your eyes, I look for answers to the questions of what did I do to cause a bomb in a man to detonate in a public place, make his anger follow GPS directions, ending in a head-on collision with the innocence of your face. You cried. I searched party for words to console you. Lord knows I tried, but I found none. Then days later, we were awakened by a phone call from him, begging and pleading to never do it again. You forgave, and a week later, he moved in. And at first, things were better, but I knew they would fall apart, and did it ever? Too many nights, he turned bedroom into boxing ring. The shelf where I sat turned front row seat to a violent fight between a monster and a woman he claimed to love. After each round, the fabric of my fur soaked up your tears and blood with every hug. I wish I was alive to protect you, but would I even be enough? I should have been born grizzly instead of an animal that is stuffed, but I am just a teddy bear, a Valentine's Day gift. Love and space should have been the only thing we shared, not the stitches in our lips. I wish I could replace the bones in your body with the cotton that's stuffed in mine. Then your heart would be the only thing being broken over time. I wish I was a different bear like Winnie the Pooh, and he'd be reminded of how honey sweet he treated you, how he was Yogi and you was the picnic basket that he desired. But over time, his flaming fist burned down the forest of your relationship. Not even Smokey the Bear could prevent that fire. But one day, self-love and courage will overpower fear, and that'll be the last time he ever hit you. Just promise me the first chance you get, you will run, save yourself, and never look back, even if it means I cannot come with you.
Woo! Give it up for the poet. Give it up for the poet. Yo, thank you for sharing your poem, fam. Thank you. So in the whole is figuring out who won this thing. On deck is Alex the Great. But coming up to the stage right now, right now, is Esperanza Cabrales. Woo!
Woo! Dear Golden Gate State, home to ever-increasing real estate and empty model homes, home to mansions with empty rooms, but apartments packed to the brim, your housing crisis is just one of your more noticeable character flaws, of which, like your landmarks, I intend to explore in depth. Your rolling green hills remind me how the only green left in the state are with celebrities and tech hubs. The disparity in wealth is so glaringly visible that even New York knows we have a problem when the fire season starts and leaves behind nothing but toxic air. It reminds me of the $20 million mansions and skyscrapers, all the people that you let live there. Like a Hollywood starlet of old, your foundation has caked dry and the gold of your youth has long been sold away in exchange for things money shouldn't be able to buy. The tourist traps you call cities mean little when tourists can't come around. The dreams you once had are being revealed as nothing more than another fad, like your avocado toast, your adoration of Disneyland, or your love-hate relationship with immigration. How our economy cannot run without the Immigrants that have become our population's majority demographic, and yet they are considered the plague that brought down the pandemic. Hate and pride mixing until the state resembles a melting red and blue slushy, unsure whether to transform into something new. Meanwhile, we bleed onto and for the land on which we reside. I love the way you lean so far to the left that you can't see right anymore. Despite all your protests and politically correct rules and regulations, the homeless encampments are nothing more than an eyesore, a blemish on your otherwise perfect track record of hiding away undesirables. This lack of racism is made evident in your choice of vice president, in your history and your present. You wear your internal struggle like tight clothing you refuse to let go of. California, boo. I think sometimes you forget who the real casualties are of your game of tug of war. Your back and forth motion is as fierce as the waves on Half Moon Bay's shores. Talk about mixed messages. You were home to the first Japanese internment camp, the first gay pride parade, the first anti-immigration law, one of the first states to have never had legalized slavery. All in all, it is no surprise you were also home to the lowest and highest points in the United States, because honestly, I see that. You have the ability to be great, to be the best state in the USA, with the ability to say yes when asked what kind of climates you've got. But your incarceration rates, the amount of non-white inmates, gentrification changing the landscape of cities, drought changing the landscape of the small countryside towns, California, you're struggling, but you know that. And even though you claim to have learned from your past, you still allow racism in the form of racially motivated hate crimes and intrinsic systemic racism. California, I love you, but you have the opportunity, just like your immigrants, to be so much more and to do so much more with what you were naturally born with.
Can we show love to that poet, please? Okay, I'll accept it. It is getting late in a few different parts of the country. All right.
Is Prophet stuck? Am I the only one watching this? Is he frozen? Like Elsa?
He's frozen.
Literally
He's
just
frozen.
DMing him about his
Frozen.
Oh my god, let it go. Okay. Alrighty.
He fell into the Atlantic.
Can you not see me?
I can see you now, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
good
we
movement.
can see you.
All right, my bad.
Your connection is ghetto.
Can you hear me now? Is the audio okay?
Your audio is kind of glitching out.
It's very lagged.
It's struggling.
It's large.
No, that's not. They said it's
All right.
struggling. It's lagging.
Apps running on my phone. All right, I'm gonna get rid of some of these apps on my phone to make it go faster. All right, good. All right, so my bad. I have poet internet. Emphasis on poet internet. So if you can hear me, there is a show in Berkeley this Saturday at Ashby Art Space. That is right next to the Ashby BART station. It's at the Expressions Art Gallery, or was formerly known as Expressions Art Gallery, and it is this Saturday. We already do 7 shows and host 7 workshops a month, but this show is going to be the first of its kind. It's a showcase and an open mic. The showcase features a lot of Bay Area legends, from Sean William to Nazila Jameson, Bree Blue, Milani Pelly. Just name somebody that's dope as fuck that was a pioneer in the Bay Area poetry scene, and they're probably going to be there this Saturday. If you want your tickets, you can get them at linktree.com/richoakevents. It is going to be a lit ass show. So it is going to be a showcase and an open mic. So you are free to come in, do poetry, dance, do comedy, whatever you want to do, however you want to express yourself. Come through this Saturday. You can register and get all the information about it that you need at linktree.com/richoakevents. And with that out the way, the last poet, lyrically gifted brother received a 28.1. Esperanza received a 27.0. Can we please show the poets how we feel about them? Can we please show the poets how we feel? All right. Okay, I know it's getting late. We're almost at the end of the slam. So we're almost home. We're almost at the home stretch. All right. So the last poet of the slam for tonight is going to be Alex D. Gray.
Yeah. Poet Daniel Garcia says, every man is famous when a woman is in love with him. And I think, wow, there's just no telling how many men I've helped boost self-esteem, how many times I flexed this muscle called my heart and inflated egos beyond human recognition, how they cross over into notoriety and forget who they are or where they came from, start jet setting and forget about how we used to ride the bus across town, living high off the hog, rubbing noses with the Joneses, all the while got a bank account in the red because you made other plans, starting businesses you struggling to manage. But everyone knows when you make your startup money back, you always take care of your first investors, never turn your back on the ones who had your back, who planted the seed. And I think of all the groupies, all the hoes, the thoughts, the haters, how it's true what they say. Folk look 10 times more attractive when they are famous, but you should never let the love change you. How he got on and acted brand new, had to remind him of his humble beginnings. How I was the one who helped him practice his lines when his ass could barely read. How I was the one who wrote those acceptance speeches for all the awards he hadn't earned. How a woman always sits backstage while a man steals the spotlight. I think of how many men I've loved who weren't deserving of the gift of goodbye I graced them with. How I would bow out the audition and allow another to play the part of girlfriend, of wife, of right now for a good time. Just yesterday, I saved a man's life, kept him humble, kept him here. When I kept my words to myself, do you know what a responsibility it is to hold this heart in your hand? How heavy it is to the touch, how you mustn't waver or drop your lines or fumble the ball, how powerful a love to uplift a nation with just one. No one ever forgets the moment they became famous, especially not the one-hit wonders. Just think about how they fell off. Should have hired an accountant, a professional to balance the budget instead of spending frivolously until it is all gone. I've come back to reclaim everything that never belonged in an ex-lover's hands, demanding all my royalty checks for all the shows that piloted but never aired, all the songs we recorded and did published. I did all the work of loving you far too well for much too long for you to not credit me with writing the
Give it up for the poet. I think you kind of cut off a little bit earlier. Give it up for the poet. So that was the last poet of the second round of the slam, which means that was the last poet of the slam, y'all. Can we give it up for everybody that touched the stage in both rounds?
Yeah.
One last time.
Gang.
Let's go, poets.
Gang.
Between every poet that touched the stage in the first round, the feature, and everybody that touched the stage in the second round, I don't know what to do with myself right now. Like this is wild. I don't know how the judges or the scorekeeper are going to be able to do their jobs tonight because it's that lit. And I just confirmed for the last poet, we have a 28.3. Give it up for the poet, Alex.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, Alex, woo! All right. So I am about to read off the scores. Can I get a drum roll for third? In third place with a 56.2. Can I get a drum roll? Or I'll do a drum roll. Fuck it. Give it up for Cher. Would you like to say it? Would you like to say something?
They
I love
say
it
I
here.
love it here.
Team Black Forces. Holy shit. You know, you gotta show the Black Forces too. All right, thank you. And also to the poets who placed, please make sure you do not leave the Zoom until we pay you, until we get your payment info. And second place with a 56.4. Drum roll, please. Alex the Great. Would you like to say something, Alex?
Merry Chris Hanukkah Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa.
Merry Chris Kwanzaa.
I love it. It is the holidays. It's the favorite time. It's the favorite time of the year, honestly. This is it. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. You know, like that I love the fact that we can show love to all of the holidays that happen around this time. You know, like to respect everyone's celebrations. I'm absolutely loving that. Thank you. And today's winner. I forgot to give out to let y'all know how much people won. If I ain't mistaken, third place wins $20. Second place just won $30. And placing first in tonight's slam and winning 50 whole American dollars. Please show your love to lyrically gifted brother. Any words? Woo!
Woo!
Any words you like to share, fam?
Man, thank y'all. I'm eating my food tonight. I appreciate y'all for having me for real. Every poet was dope, man. Spirit Lord, and I appreciate y'all for inspiring me to do what I do, man. Thank y'all. The dessert's kicking in.
Oh, for sure. Thank you. Love to see, love to see another brother fed, love to see the fact that everyone who touched the stage blazed it and the margin of victory was so finite. But I want to thank you to everyone that placed. I want to thank you to everyone that touched first and second round. I want to thank the fellow organizers, the scorekeeper, Becky, live streamer, Reggie. I want to thank bout manager Colin, Tino. I want to thank the judges. I can't thank the audience enough. I can't thank just everybody that has helped to make tonight possible. Thank you so much. If I forgot anybody, I apologize. I told y'all when this shit began that I be forgetting shit. But we have reached the end of tonight's slam. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I really hope you did, because tonight was so dope. You have no choice but to enjoy it, because the poetry was that. We have reached the end of our slam. If I could sing, I would sing you an ending song. But it's going to sound like nails on the chalkboard. So for risk of scaring our audience off forever, I want to say much love to you. Happy holidays until next week. And you can find us if you need your fix of another slam or another show. We will be back third Saturday of December, which is going to be not this next Saturday coming up, but the one after that. And also, third Tuesday, aka December 21st, we have Oakland Poetry Slam, the birthday show for the twins, the Wonder Twins, Colin and Reggie. So stay tuned on all of our social media so you can know what we got going on. Because third Tuesday at Lucas Tap Room and Lounge is lit, and it's our only in-person show for now. So please check that out if you're in the Bay Area or will be in the Bay around December 21st or on December 21st. Thank y'all for watching the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Thank you for tuning in to today's show. I've been your host, Prophet. This has been the Berkeley Slam. Peace, love, and chicken grease. See y'all next week.